Welcome back. Number 3 is arm styling. So how we use our arms, probably one of my favorite things, using my arms and being expressive. And I know in ballroom dancing, I was really comfortable with that. But when I started hoop dancing, I noticed myself kind of just allowing my arms to just sort of dangle to the side if it wasn't actually involved in moving the hoop. And if I was hooping on my body, I kind of had those T-Rex arms, right? Where I was just trying to keep my arms out of the way. So I even now have to remind myself to keep my arms moving. And if I look at a video of myself practicing, I notice the ones that look more artistic to me are the ones where my arms are just not hanging down to the side. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is the arm styling. So the first thing that I want you to know about arm styling is that I feel like if it comes from the body, and this is again something I know from ballroom dancing, that if it originates from my core or from my body, and then the signal that I get from the body moves out from my body down into my arm, then it really gives me a much more fluid look and much more natural look, and it keeps dancing too. So if it's hanging down to the side, it's not dancing along with my hoop and along with me. So the first thing I'm going to have you do is with your right arm, again, you're going to be like looking in a mirror, and we're just going to bring that arm up in front of us. And you can see that right now, I just have my hand loosely open like it would be if it was hanging down just in a relaxed way to the side. So my arms are hanging down now. If I just lift up, it'll be your right arm. I'm going to keep that same kind of open, loose feeling with the hand. Fingers are a little bit separated instead of it being too stiff, right? So a nice loose hand, and I'm just going to bring my arm in front of my body. So I know that if my body sends the signal to the arm to go out to the side, I would have some kind of feeling of, right? So sort of like a lift up in the body, an expression in the body. And then the first part of the arm that would signal or get that feeling from my body would be from the shoulder to the elbow. So I'm going to call that part number 1. So shoulder to elbow. So it's body, shoulder to elbow. So that gets the message. Then elbow to wrist would be the second part. So part number 2, elbow to wrist. And then part number 3 would be the wrist and the hands and the fingers would be the last thing to get the signals, and it would be the completion. So if I brought my arm back in again, I would use, again, my body would be telling it to come back in, and the first thing that would get that signal would be the shoulder to the elbow, still part number 1, would still get the first part of that signal. Then part number 2, elbow to wrist, then finally wrist, hand, and fingers. So if I do that without stopping, so you can see, I would go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So go ahead and try that with me. It's pretty fun. So we're going to go shoulder to elbow, part 1, elbow to wrist, part 2, wrist, hand, and fingers, part 3. Coming back in, same idea, shoulder to elbow, part 1, elbow to wrist, part 2, wrist, hand, and fingers, part 3. So let's do that one more time, and then we'll come back and think about how we're going to initiate that from our body. So shoulder to elbow, elbow to wrist, wrist, hand, and fingers, looking lovely, shoulder to elbow, elbow to wrist, wrist, hand, and fingers. So now, this time as we do it, and then we'll switch over to the other arm so we can practice both sides, we are going to take a step in second position. So I'll move a little bit further away. And oh yeah, you see over here, my friend, This is Teresa T-Rex, and she's just making sure we do our arms the way we should be, right? And that they are not looking like hers. Anyway, so here we go. So this time I'm going to take a step over to the side, to your right, and I'm going to, as I do, I'm going to bring the arm in front. Let's just take the one that we're not using, put it behind our back for now, so it has a place and it isn't just dangling to the side. So as we step to the side, we're going to lift our body, and you can see that stretch from the body to give signal to the arm to start moving. 1, 2, part 3. And now I'm going to take my weight back to the opposite foot, which would be your left foot, and we're going to retract that arm. 1, 2, 3. So we're going to send it out, 2, 3, draw it in, 2, 3. Send it out, 2, 3, draw it in, 2, 3. So I've heard this analogy of when I'm going out, I can think about with the back of my hand, I'm going to push the curtains open, and then I'm going to reach out and grab something and bring it back in towards me. Okay, so I'm going to push it open so that almost there's a little bit of resistance. Another thing you can think of is like if you moved your arm underwater, and this is really good to practice if you're in a pool or in the ocean. If I move the arm and against the water, there's some resistance, so there's some tone in my arm as I'm moving it back and forth. So I'm going to take it out, 2, 3, draw it back in, 2, 3, take it out, 2, 3, and draw it back in, 2, 3. And let's practice that with the opposite arm. So bringing it into the front, we'll go ahead and put our other one behind our back, so we don't have to worry about that one for right now. And again, the 3 parts, shoulder to elbow, elbow to wrist, wrist, hand, and fingers. Bringing it back in, shoulder to elbow, elbow to wrist, wrist, hand, and fingers. So we go 1, 2, 3, grab it out there, pull it back in, 1, 2, 3. Let's go ahead and send our weight onto that foot, draw it back, and use our body to stretch and contract and draw it in. Stretch it out one last time and draw it in. Nice. Now we can do both arms at the same time. Let's do that real quick before we move on. So I'm going to bring both in front. Doesn't matter which one's on top or which one's below. And we're going to use the 3 parts of our arm and then bring it back in. So we could do this with a hoop in one of our arms, or this would be good to use when the hoop is on our waist, right? And we're going to keep it up maybe a little bit higher. And you can still see the 3 parts of the arms moving and being fluid. And if I was hooping on the body, there would definitely be some body action going on right here at the same time. Okay. All right, so now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to do some arm circles, which I really like too. So we'll go back to using your right arm first. And we are going to bring the arm across our body, and from part number 1, shoulder to elbow, elbow to wrist, and when we get the hand up to the very top, I'm going to just turn it over, so now the hand is pointing down towards the floor, and then I let it come down, shoulder to elbow, elbow to wrist, wrist, hand, and fingers. So I'm going to bring it across, and you can imagine that in the next lesson, we're actually going to talk about how to style the arm when the hoop is in it. So this is more, could be either one right now actually, but I'm going to focus more on the free arm if it's not holding onto the hoop so it's not dangling. So again, one of the things that we can do is a nice full circle, turning the hand over towards the floor and letting it fall down. So nice full circle and letting it fall down. And let's just do that with the opposite arm. So I'm going to bring it across the body and up. Turn the hand over, and as it comes down, shoulder to elbow, elbow to wrist, wrist, hand, and fingers. Let's do that one more time. Cross it across the body, shoulder to elbow, elbow to wrist, wrist, hand, and fingers. And now let's try that again with both hands. And you can see that I'm kind of sending the body up when the arm goes up, like goes up. So again, I'm bringing them across. Doesn't matter which one's in front. And I'm stretching up, almost like you're going to pull off a t-shirt, bring it up, and let it fall down. Yep. And now, depending on what we're doing, this is a good practice exercise. But in most cases, unless we're knee hooping right now, this would be good to do if we're knee hooping, right? Using our arms here because we have plenty of space for it. Obviously, if we're waist hooping, this wouldn't work so much on this particular arm styling. And if we have a hoop in one hand, we could do something like this actually too. All right, and then one last one that's really nice is going up and down. So I'm going to step back just a little bit so you can see the top of my hand. So this one sort of breaks the rules of the three parts of the arm because I'm going to feed the hand up first, right? So it's kind of the first thing that's happening, even though in order to get it in place, I'm still using the other part. So I'm going to go hand all the way up. And then when I get up, it's like I'm going to turn a light bulb, I got plenty of them up here, in the ceiling and rotate it and bring it back down. So I'm going to go shoot it up, rotate, and I can go to the side and back down, or I can come straight back down. Again, you can see it gives it a little bit different look. So if I go up with the hand, and you can see it's kind of going by the side of my face, it goes all the way up, turns, and either drops down. I'll go ahead and try that one time. And then we'll go up one more time, and this time let's come straight back down the same way we went. So that might be another nice way to style it. A lot of times if the hoop is on the body, I would stop the arm. Maybe I could take it out to the side. Or I would go up and come to here, but wouldn't go all the way down and would take it back in. So let's try that with the opposite arm. So we're going to go up, we're going to feed it up. You can see the hand goes sort of by, you can touch your face if you want, it doesn't have to touch, but by the side of your face, and it's going to go all the way up. And let's just, for the first time, bring it right back down. Okay, and let's do that one more time. We're going up, and this time let's take it down to the side. And depending on what we're doing, if we are doing knee hooping, we could take it all the way down. But if we're doing waist hooping or something else that we wouldn't want the hand in the way, we could bring it back in, keeping it higher above the hoop. All right, and so let's do that with two hands, just in case we have both hands free, or we could have a hoop in one of our hands. We're going to go up, and let's just come right back down, same way. And we go up, and come right back down. This time, let's go up, and then go to the side, and then come back into the front. Okay, so the most important things that I want you to remember is to make sure that you're just not putting the arm out without any feeling of it coming from the body. And I like a lot of times to take a step at the same time so that it also accents the movement and the line that I'm doing. So I'd like you to just practice that. Like, what ways can you take your arms and keep them fluid and moving? Try adding some steps into it, making big circles. And I want you to take up a lot of space, right? Because it's easy to want to be a little small when you're first doing this. And it's like, it feels a little odd putting my arms way out there. I feel feels better, just kind of keeping them in close to me. And the last thing I do want to mention on that vein, so the final tip I'd like to give you is sometimes you are going to just want to keep one hand or the other to the side of your body, whichever hand is not using the hoop. You can just bring it to the side sometimes, especially in between, moving it in another direction of just being able to bring it to the side. Might even just let it hang down sometimes too, and that's obviously fine. Just be aware or be careful not to just let it dangle to the side the whole time you're hooping. All right, so I hope this gave you some really good ideas, and keep practicing that. When we get to the end of our week here, we're going to be doing some review and incorporating that back in. So the next lesson is going to be what to do with the hoop when it's in your hand. How do I style that arm too? So in the meantime, practice your arm styling that we talked about today, and then we'll see you on the next lesson with the hoop in hand.